Ayubowan, good afternoon. The Venerable Mahasangha, revered dignitaries of other religious denominations, Your Excellencies, the High Commissioners and Ambassadors of representative Buddhist countries in the UK, the Member of Parliament for Brentford, Chiswick and Isleworth, Mary MacLeod, the Worshipful Madam Mayor of the Borough of Hammersmith and Fulham, Councillor Francis Stainton, distinguished guests and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Chief Sanghanayaka of Great Britain and the head of the London Buddhist Vihara, Venerable Bogodo Silavimala Nayaka Thera, and the organizing committee of the London Buddhist Vihara, who have spared no pains to arrange today's event, it is my pleasant and humble duty to extend a very warm and cordial welcome to each and every one of you gathered here this afternoon to commemorate the 150th birth anniversary of a remarkable Buddhist visionary and benefactor, the Anagarika Dharmapala.
As the chief of the Anagarika Dharmapala Commemorative Committee, I warmly welcome you all. We are gathered here today to commemorate the 150th birth anniversary of Anagarika Dharmapala and to appreciate his great service to the Buddhist community here in the West and in a wider sense to the world. Today's ceremony is the culmination of a series of events which have been organized to celebrate the life of great Anagarika Dharmapala.
Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Sanghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi.
So I just invite you to imagine standing before you the Buddha himself. How would you be sitting? Do you want to imagine that? How would you be sitting? Sitting the same? Try this one then. The word dignity. How would you sit if you were being dignified?
Today we celebrate the 150th birth anniversary of Anagarika Dharmapala. He played a pivotal role in the revival of Buddhism in Sri Lanka and India, and indeed throughout the world. I had the great privilege of being asked to open this wonderful exhibition at the London Buddhist Vihara the other day, which depicted his really tremendous life and work.
I thought as a theme for this talk, gratitude would be very appropriate, and In the Pali language, we have this expression, katanyu kataveti. So katanyu means gratefulness. Kataveti is often translated as the debt of gratitude, or what you do in response to that grateful feeling arising in your heart. So perhaps debt is not the most appropriate word, but more the heart's natural response to the appreciation of what we have received and what we are blessed with.
I have a message to read from His Grace the Archbishop of Canterbury. I'm very happy to send my warm greetings to you on this 150th anniversary celebration. The London Vihara has been a prominent part of the religious landscape in this country since 1926, when it was first founded. And many people from different faith communities in this country are grateful for the positive way in which the Vihara community has taken part, particularly in interfaith relations here.
He worked for the promotion and propagation of Buddha Dharma, teachings of the Buddha. Not only he is a propagator and promoter of the Dhamma, he is a national hero. Because at the time he was born in Sri Lanka, we were under the colonial rule.
I would like to just mention really three important, because in every event, there's more than just one thing that causes a person to do things or anything to happen. It's all causes and conditions. We as Buddhists know this. Causes and conditions come together and they create a situation where things can happen. Were it not for the fact that Ceylon was a colonial country, perhaps this would never have come about. Perhaps it was because he hadn't been seen by the missionaries and taught by the missionaries, he'd never have come to the West. Causes and conditions bring things to come about. This was so in the life of Shakyamuni Buddha and also in the life of Dharmapala.
I am very happy to be here with you today in this remarkable day, Anagarika Dharmapala's 150th birthday. It is a very important day in Sri Lankan history. Anagarika Dharmapala is a symbol as a giant in history in Sri Lanka.
Now I would like to call upon Tarusha Pereira. He is representing the junior grade and in the essay writing. And senior essay competition goes to Savini Hevagi. PowerPoint presentation, junior grade, goes to Dinu Vijay Sivardhana. PowerPoint presentation, senior grade, goes to Naveen Vitana. Speech competition, junior level, goes to Resandu Ketaka Kiralavella. Speech competition, senior level, goes to Devin Hevage. Only we have given first prizes in this place. Now Devin Hevage will deliver his speech, whatever he has given in the last time. Devin.
Good afternoon, venerable monks, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Devin Hevage. Today I am going to talk about the impact of Anagarika Dharmapala's island-wide sermons on the 20th century Sri Lankan society. He was an ordinary man who devoted his life and followed his dream to reawaken the light of Buddhism in an underprivileged and mistreated society in the early 20th century in Sri Lanka. People referred to Anagarika Dharmapala as the model of Buddhist activism in modern society. He, unlike the ruthless Western invaders, was armed with insurmountable courage, willpower, and deeply powerful speeches. In the early 20th century, Sri Lanka was a British colony, rapidly engulfed in Western culture. Those were the days when the Buddhists of Sri Lanka were reluctant to declare themselves Buddhists. Buddhism was considered to be the faith of unurbanized people. At this very time, a revivalistic activity was carried out by lay Buddhist leaders. Among them, Anagarika Dharmapala was the great personality who succeeded in the effort of reforming the Buddhist society.
We saved the best for the last, and it's the time for the keynote address by Professor Asanga Tilakaratta.
Now, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to read this paper, but I will just try to summarize the main argument of this paper, which I have titled as Anagarika Dharmapala and his vision of a globalized Buddhism. Now, it is very interesting to see Anagarika Dharmapala is basically perceived as Sinhala Buddhist nationalist. But when we read his writings and when he read his diaries, you can see that. Of course, Anagarika Dharmapala was a many-sided person. His work was in Sri Lanka, then his work was in India, and then his work was in America, England, and in Europe. So there are three main areas. And when we look at Anagarika Dharmapala's writings, what he said and what he did, we can see that he had, although he was, on the one hand, his life, his work was very much centered on Sri Lanka and Sinhala Buddhism, but he was at the same time a very, very international figure who had a vision of what I would like to call globalized Buddhism. Now, this perspective of global application of Buddhism is something not unique to Dharmapala. Of course, it comes from the very heart of the philosophy of the Buddha.
Venerable Mahasangha, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and friends, I think we have come to the last part of this the celebration today. We have now come to the end of 150th birth anniversary celebrations of the Anagarika Dharmapala. We hope you have enjoyed the program.